Okay, hello, I'm CryptoSI, and I'm going to make a short video here just to dispel one of the myths, or one of the common misconceptions, or one of the things that's usually spoke about within crypto, but never actually spoke about. And that is, do your own research. Now, so often people within crypto, all these super smart people will say, here's this thing I'm shilling you, you should buy this because I think it's great, but do your own research. 9 times out of 10, the reason why they say do your own research is because they haven't done the research. Now, you may want to do your own research and you may not know how. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do my own research. I've been in crypto for almost 12 years now. I'm still here. Okay, and that may tell you something about the efficiency of my way of doing things. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take a random number between 1 and 300. So this is CoinGecko. On CoinGecko, it will show you the market cap of a lot of the top cryptos. All right, all of the top cryptos, they'll be sorted by market cap. You can sort them by other things, but they'll be sorted initially by market cap, and you can scroll through them all. Now, if you're kind of new to crypto, all of this will mean absolutely nothing to you. But what you will understand is the concept of a table. The higher up the table you go, the bigger the project. And that means two things. Number one, it will go up slower. Number two, it will go down slower. So it becomes a safer bet, but a less profitable bet the higher up you go. When you start with crypto, depending on your risk tolerance, if you really want high risk, you go further down the list. If you want low risk and you want to see your money go up, but slowly over a period of years, 4 years plus, and you almost want that guaranteed, you stay near the top. Bitcoin is the safest, more than likely the smallest reward. Then Ethereum, slightly less safe, slightly more reward, and so on. Some of these are stable coins. Stable coins will go nowhere ever. That's why this one says 0.1%, 0.1%. That's how much the value has gone up or down over 1 hour, 24 hours, or 7 days. Okay, so now we know the basics of CoinGecko. And this goes down super far. So if you look at a project like PivX, which is where I learned most of the things I know about crypto whilst working on this project, this is number 887. Now, this is still a good, strong project. In between 887 and number 1, there's going to be a lot of garbage, but there's going to be also a few more gems of projects which, whilst being small, have got a very, very high chance that they will not go to zero. And these are the type of projects that I like, okay? Okay, so this one's 887. So we're going to pick one between 1 and 300. Do you know what? I'm going to up that to 1 and 500. A random number between 1 and 500. Whatever that corresponds to on CoinGecko, we're going to use that as our case study to do our own research. At the end of this video, we should have a decision upon a random coin that I've just picked, and the community of that coin will either vilify me and say, oh, he's talking rubbish if I say bad things about it, or they will say, oh, video is great, everybody come and buy our coin, look, this guy said it was good. So let's see where we land. If it's a stable coin, we won't do it. 353. Okay, so we'll go to CoinGecko. We're looking for number 353 in the rankings. This only goes up to 100, so it would be page 3. And I can only do page 1 or page 2. I could have changed that to 200 actually, but let's go on to page 3. And it's 353, right? Oh no. Sometimes CoinGecko does this thing where it bugs out and it shows you the same page a number of times. Okay, so when was at the bottom? There we go. Right, 353. Pundi X. Okay. So Pundi X is going to be the subject of this thing. Right. So let's get started. once someone tells me about a coin, the first thing I do, the first place I go is CoinGecko. I come to CoinGecko, the absolute first thing I look at is the market cap. If the market cap is below 100 million, in my mind, that's a tick because I like high risk. If you don't like high risk, the market cap is below 100, it may not be a tick. Now, what you've got to remember is if something is a tick, it just means like thumbs up. It doesn't mean it's not critical. It's not to say if this doesn't exist, don't buy it. There's no single factor when doing your own research. There's no single factor that should rule you out of buying it. Even if you look at a project and you know it's an absolute dog, if you can consider a way in which a bigger fool will buy it further down the line, you may still buy it, okay? So it could be an absolute dog, but you could, for example, see that Logan Paul has bought it. So it's absolute dog, but you know Logan Paul has bought it, and Logan Paul hasn't spoken about it. So whether it's a dog or not, doesn't really matter. Could be an absolute dog, but you know someone at a big exchange has gone to go to list it. Could be an absolute dog, doesn't matter. Once it gets on the exchange, it's going to pump. You can buy it for that pump. These are high risk strategies, okay? I'm not going to say do your own research. I'm just going to say this is not financial advice. If you lose your money, that's your business. But losing your money is not that bad. I lose money all the time. It's so what? Okay, that's the game. You win some, you lose some. Don't cry when you win, and don't over celebrate. No, sorry. Don't cry when you lose. Don't over celebrate when you win. Only people that should be over celebrated is the mighty Arsenal. So Pundi X, first thing I look at, market cap. This one's 177 million. All right, fine. I'll have a little sheet of paper. Actually, what I may do for the purposes of this is, no, there's not enough room on the screen. I was going to write it up there. Okay. So 177 on the market cap. I write it down on a piece of paper just so that I can reference everything at the same time. So it's just a blank piece of paper, literally blank piece of paper. So 177 market cap. So you can do this at home with your own project, or you could do this at home with something somebody has suggested to you, or you can just do a random one. Do 5 random ones. Do 20. Out of the 20 random ones, you are going to find one that really appeals to you. Okay, so the market cap is the right size. Next thing I'll look at is the trading volume. 24-hour trading volume is 20 million. 20 million out of 177 million is over 10%. That indicates that trading is more than likely going to be a lot of market making activity or a lot of wash trading. When I see trading numbers like that, I generally want to see trading numbers where the trading has been done on decentralized exchanges. This is because on decentralized exchanges, people have to pay. You have to pay for your trades. On a centralized exchange, they can do all this washing and just make up any old number here that they please. So the number means less, okay? I've got a good feeling, having looked at this already without looking any further on this project that I don't know, that this is going to be on some big exchanges. Probably big Southern Asian exchanges. That may sound racist. I don't know. Do what you want with that information. Could care less. Circulating supply, total supply, max supply. These 3 numbers. This means how many of the tokens exist and how many tokens will ever exist. If these 2 numbers are the same, great. Brilliant. That's a massive green tick. That means nobody can come, bring new tokens and drop them on your head and dump the price. That's what they call dumping on retail. VC chains generally will have a low circulating supply and a huge max supply because they're going to come later with a bucket load of tokens and dump them on your head. And they're going to hope the liquidity can hold them, but it's going to suppress the price, suppress your gains, and you are going to be the mug on the other end of the dumping. I still buy projects that are built like that in the hope that enough people will come to buy it that even when they come to dump on our heads, we can still go forward. But the real winners in those situations are the VCs, the insiders, the early adopters, the people who are holding those coins ready to dump on your head. A lot of the time that will be exchanges, or it will be, generally it's the venture capitalists, and those are the investors of the project at a very early stage. Okay, we'll do something with that a little bit later on. So this has got another, so as far as supply goes, I'll give it another tick, right? So we got market cap tick, supply tick. Let's go back to trading volume. Now, we'll look at this chart. The chart will show 24 hours. This is useless. This is pointless, right? So all this is ever going to show you is what's happening on one particular day. It means nothing. The only small bit of information you can squeeze out of it is, if I duplicate this tab, if Bitcoin is having a down day and your project is having an up day, that's a kind of good sign, but it's a very small good sign. Bitcoin is having an average day in a down week. Pundi X is having a slightly up day and a steady week. So, well, what that does mean is that this project is somewhat stable in the position that it is. We go down to this part, you see all these green parts. Now, here's where you have to have some, let me scroll it up a little bit so you can see it. Here's where you have to have some self-control. Because when you see all this green is like the green is the siren. Green is the honey trap of crypto. Green will suck you in and cut your head off. Green is not a good sign. When you see green, automatically your heart starts to say, what? This is a winner. This one's green. Green means go. So I'm going to go and throw my money into it. No. Green does not mean go. Green does not mean anything. If these numbers are green and they're very high, that means stop, because it's already had its pump. It may pump further, but you're taking on more risk. So for this currently, we're looking at 1 year, 43% against the current backdrop. When I'm recording this is the 4th of April, 2024. So against the current backdrop of everything having doubled and tripled, 43% means this is a laggard. This one is behind the times. Now, I'm quite sure when I see a number like this, this means that this project has survived more than one 4-year cycle. In crypto, we have the bull market and the bear market. We have the Bitcoin halving. Those things are 4-year cycles. Because this one is only 43% over the last year, I would put money on it that this project is over 5 years old. Okay, so this project was made before 2019. So we've got 2 assumptions I've made so far, and let's see how right I am. First of all, the project is over 5 years old, and second of all, the trading is being done mostly on centralized exchanges. This is an Ethereum token, so it will be on Uniswap. It's an Ethereum token because it's got a contract here. It says contract and it's got the little Ethereum logo. It may have a different logo, which means it's on different networks. Sometimes there's a drop down here which shows that it's on a lot of different networks, a lot of different Ethereum-based networks, but this one doesn't seem to have one, which suggests it's not on a lot of Ethereum-based networks. It does have this little logo here. This is a super useful logo, right? Don't sleep on this tiny little thing. This is going to be like an hour-long video. I thought this was going to be 10 minutes. It's going to be a long video, but you are going to learn a lot. So we'll come back to this, but this, I don't know if it's a bull or what it is. I'm going to have to put my glasses on and see. I'll see what this is. Let's see. I'm going to have to put my face right into the screen, and I still can't tell. I have no idea. I have no idea what that logo is. I click on this logo 10 times a day. I have no idea what the logo is. But I know it takes me to a fountain of knowledge, right? Okay. So then we go on to markets. Markets will bring you down to show you where this thing is being traded. And sure as you like, it's being traded on these centralized exchanges. If I do this by volume, let's see if Uniswap even gets in there. No. Okay. Uniswap's not there at all. So we've got all of this volume, $400,000 on Femex. Let's start with the big boys. Binance, this is the biggest exchange in the world. If it's on Binance, you know, it's got a chance to go far. What you really want is you really want to get something before it gets on Binance. Not a lot of stuff now gets on Binance that wasn't on Binance when it launched, that Binance don't have a hand in the pie. Binance are like a VC with their own exchange. So they invest in projects when they're very young. They put the projects on their own stage, and then the projects pump. And then they are one of the people who dumps on the people's heads. This is something that they do. Allegedly, okay? Just in case someone comes and says, no, we don't, blah, blah, blah. That's what I heard. Okay. That's what I heard. Okay, so Binance is where all of the volume is. For those who don't know, Binance have a lot of market-making stuff. I would say that 9 million number is more than likely trash. Uniswap, however, is here, and I missed this on the first go-round. Uniswap is here, and there is $600,000 of volume on Uniswap. That's a tick, right? That is a tick. Now, that does actually show that there is a decent amount of volume for this tiny project. So now this is interesting. This has now become interesting to me. So we will say trading. I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Actually, no, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, I won't sit on the fence. When I've looked at the trading numbers for this, these trading numbers they're not good. They're bad. They're just into the bad. Anything under 5 is bad, anything over 5 is good. They're just into the bad. They're just into the bad because the trading volume is high, and the lion's share of the trading volume is coming from one exchange, which I don't believe always puts out legitimate numbers. Okay? The Uniswap is there, which takes this trading thing from a 2 to a 4. If the Uniswap was lower, then we were into red flag territory. Okay, so Uniswap is there. And here's this logo again, live chart. Here's this logo again. We'll go back up to where we saw it first, and we will click it. All right, let's go. So we've got this open here. I'm going to do this very quickly because what I really want to do... Oh, here's a lot of red. A lot of red in the last few minutes from a lot of different accounts. A lot of maybe profit taking. Thousands, yeah, it is. Okay. That doesn't really mean much. 24 hours up, 6 hours up, hour down a bit, 5 minutes, and this goes real thing. This is where the people that do meme coins and stuff come to, right? I like Gecko Terminal. Oh, it's a gecko. That's what it is. Yeah. Today I learned. Okay, so what we'll look for here is how much liquidity is in the Uniswap. 1.7 million. That's pretty small in comparison to the market cap 173. And the age is only 2 years. So looks like, no, okay, that's because Uniswap V3 is only 2 years. How old is the project? I was right about there being a lot of wash trading. How old is the project? If we click max here, we will see it's not that old. It's not 5 years old, but this is not its first. This is not its first cycle, because 21 was a cycle. So, what? Okay. Let me quickly explain what a chart like this means. If you see a max chart like this, this means... Okay, so this means this project, I'm going to assume this project was released at $7, give or take. It's now at $68, 68 cents. So it's down 90% from launch. It launched at $7, which... let's assume the circulating supply was not the max supply, and they dumped on everyone's heads. A bunch of people bought. All the time they're selling to buyers. You can't sell without a buyer. So all of this time is people believing the story that this project told them when it released at $7. This is the first decent sized red flag. So I'm going to assume that there's a lot of VCs involved in this. I'm also going to assume that Binance listed this project when this project launched. I still don't know what this project is. I'm just gaining all of this as I go. This is how I do my own research. All right, so the price dropped, and all these people here got slaughtered. We're talking about from the date pops up here. So from the end of March, almost to the day, 3 years ago, almost to the day. So this is towards the end of the last cycle, which will be a factor. And then towards the end of the last cycle, that was when this released, just in time. So they rushed it out the door. Last cycle finished. Everybody got slaughtered. So everybody's down. Everybody's down 80% at this point, all right? And it just only gets worse, and it stays bad throughout the bear market, and to here where we are today. Now, does this go back to all-time highs? If it does, you make bank. You've done brilliantly. Does it not go back to all-time highs? Who knows? But now, does it go back to all-time highs? Now, in my mind, now becomes the narrative. Can this go back to all-time highs? Now what I want to do is I want to skip to the project, and I want to see what the project is about, and I want to do the other do your own research bits, right? Because so far, I've not really done any research on the actual project, no research on the fundamentals. I've just looked at what they're selling as opposed to how it works. All right, so let's go back to this terminal. All I really do here is I look at liquidity and I compare it to market cap. The liquidity in this is small. It's too small. I don't like it. It's too small. That means that too much control over the price is held by Binance. Okay, by the oh, hold on. Okay, so maybe I was right. Maybe it was older than 5 years old, because what's happened is they've had a rebase. Rebase is when you take the tokens. I think they do it in stocks and shares, and I don't even know if rebase is the right term. That's what I'm going to call it. And if you had 100 tokens, they'll take your 100 tokens and they'll give you back one. But they do that for everybody. Okay, so it just makes the tokens look nicer. It just changes the way they appear, the arbitrary nature of their price compared to the dollar. Okay, so before they swapped 1,000 to 1. So before that, that would have been like a meme coin type number, where it's 0.0001. So it would have been like each token is worth like 1,000 or whatever, blah blah blah. Okay. So there is a CoinGecko for the old token. Yeah, see, here's the old token's price. Okay. And if we go to max, we can see exactly how old the project is. Same token. There we go. You see? Easy. That does beg the question, though, of the 2021. All right, so, okay, so I was right about one thing, but this changes stuff. What this means is that this wasn't a project which launched here. It didn't launch here. It just rebased here, like redenominated here. So I take back what I just said. This is me doing my own research. So you're seeing it live and you're seeing the thought process. Looks like it started March 2018. For those who don't know, March 2018 was the depths of the biggest bear market Bitcoin has ever had. So for me, 2017 was the biggest bull market. 2018 was the biggest bear market. 2017 was the biggest bull market because we gained the most social capital, the most new people joined, Normally, if you hear someone's in crypto and they're doing their own project, they say, when did you join? They say 2017. Everybody joined at 2017. That was when crypto went from being give Bitcoin, drop Bitcoin, not bombs, and there was a bunch of libertarians and everybody was welcome and this, that, and the other, to the smart money cottoned on. This was when bankers and those guys started to buy crypto. They didn't do their ETF and all that stuff until just the other day, but back here, this was when those lot got involved. Well, if we go further back. So what this is showing me is that this thing had a massive run-up in the depths of the bear market. You're not going to know this unless you know this. So now I'm saying it, now you know this. That 2016 to end of 2017, massive bull market, biggest bull market in crypto history, not in dollar terms, but as far as I'm concerned, right? So you don't have to understand why, but I've told you. So it is what it is. So that means it's right. And this was the biggest bear market. Now, during the biggest bear market, this thing done absolute numbers. Now I'm interested. All right. So now we've got something that's gone against the grain, which suggests it was either a very strong narrative or a decently strong project. This is a big plus in my eyes. Then on the next cycle, once again, it done numbers. This is a very big plus in my eyes. There's another cycle coming, and look at this. Here we go. Now, it may not do the numbers that it done last time because it looks like each high is lower. So let's say it does a lower high than this. Let's imagine there's a line. You know, these guys like to draw these lines. Let's imagine there's a line that goes from there to there and comes down to there. And it gets to about here. So let's say it gets to about a third of its all-time high. A third of its all-time high, which would have been... So you times that by 1,000. So you move 3 zeros. 12 cents. $1. $12. Is that right? Yeah, that's about right. $12. But we'll say it will go to a third of 7. So what's a third of 7? $2? So from here, this can do a 4x. Okay, this can do a 4x from here, and if it is going to do a 4x, it's going to do a 4x soon. It's going to do a 4x soon. I've made a mistake here. This was the pump. This was the pump just before the This is not today. This was the pump just before the relisted. No, this is today. This is today. What am I talking about? It's 2024. This was just before the relisted. And this is where the next chart starts. So the next chart that we're looking at currently starts here. Doesn't it? Yeah, it starts at the end of March. Okay. All right. Ignore me. This is how I do my research, so anyway. It's never straightforward. Okay, so history, I'll say I'm going to give this another tip. I'm starting to like this Pundi X. Okay, so now let's look at the fundamentals. What is it? Where does it come from? Blah, blah, blah. Looking at the name Pundi X, it touches me as Indian. Something to do with it, like a project by Indian people, for Indian people. There's only one way to find out. You click on the website. Transforming physical retail businesses with innovative deep-in solutions. That's a good word. That means that this website has been updated in the last 2 years. Deep-in is a new narrative. It's a great narrative, decentralized physical infrastructure. What it seems to me like is this project is something to do with point-of-sale terminals, which is related to cash machines. So people can go to places and buy from places with a point of sale. Here we go, XPOS. XPOS is a point of sale terminal. And yes, here we go. Okay, so this is the point of sale play. This is a deep in play before peeping was a thing, and I've got a feeling it's aimed at India. I've got, just because of the name. I hope it is. I really hope it is. India's a massive market. Problem being, crypto's not legal there, and I don't think it's legal there. They have exchanges and stuff, but let's say it's not regulated there. Okay, that might be better. It's not regulated there, so it might be difficult to have these kind of things unless you're really into crypto. There's no signs that it's aimed at the Indian market. The reason why I'm harping on about the Indian market, because in my mind, if it is aimed at the Indian market, I'm buying it. I've almost seen enough. Okay, so my mind is almost made up that this could be one of those places where I'm buying it, but it's a high risk play. So if I buy it, I might take 0.5% of my total portfolio and stick it in there. If I can hold it on a hardware wallet, stick it in there, set it, forget it. Wait for the bull run to be at its peak, then I'll go back and look at it. Payment ecosystem of its type. These videos don't really tell me anything. The people in the videos aren't white, but they don't look Indian either. And this is just where the video was made. It doesn't really mean anything. Partner global payment solution. Okay, that's good. Let's see when this news was from. This was from a week ago. No, this is... Hundreds. Pundi X Verifone. Oh, this was a long time ago. This was July 2019. Okay. So they got integrated to Verifone, and they still, the project's still done. Anyway, but that's the crypto side. Okay, so that news was there. Okay, so now I'm hoping to see any kind of numbers that show how much volume this is doing. Looks like it's got some sort of DAO. There is some sort of DAO. Integration of Solana on XPOS, so you can pay with Solana. Oh, this is good. This is good. %, yes votes. Voting period. Okay, so a lot of these things I'm using knowledge that I have. I'm using knowledge that I have to help me along. So I'm quite versed in DAOs. I've got my DAO Watch t-shirt on, so I'm quite versed in DAOs. This is an Ethereum project. It's also a DAO. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to now go to snapshot.org and see if Pundi X is a DAO. If it is, I'm buying it. Let me unlock my wallet. No, actually, let me not, because you don't need to know my password. And I can see it without it anyway. No. Okay, so Pundi X is not recognized on Snapshot as a DAO, but they've got their own voting terminal. Quorum has not been reached yet, which means not enough people have voted, although it's all 100% yes. They need a 40% quorum, and it currently looks like at 6%. So more people need to vote. Solana's fourth largest transaction volume, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think a lot of that is wash trading. I think it goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, Binance. I think Tron do more real world trading. I think often these guys, people that do these projects don't know about it, because a lot of people that do these projects just do these projects. They don't actually use crypto. People who actually use crypto day to day know that Tron is the network that most of the dollar-backed transfers take place. Like $1 a transfer, in trade what you like. Most of the guys use Tron. Very few use Binance. Nobody really uses Ethereum, and Bitcoin, obviously, people use. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit waylaid and sidetracked now, because I'm digging, and the things that I'm digging for, and this is what happens when you do your own research. Things that you're digging for, they start to become less and less relevant, and you just go down rabbit holes, and it doesn't really matter. Okay, so looking at their blog, I take it with a pinch of salt. They're doing this, they've got this partnership, that partnership, the other partnership they're in, blah, blah, blah. But there doesn't seem to be any stats, right? There doesn't seem to be any stats about how many or how much they're generating in fee revenue, how many point-of-sale terminals Pundi X is in, how many transfers they're doing per day. There's no real stats, okay? So that's a negative. I would like to know, but generally nobody really shows. And their community will come to me and say, well, if you do your own research, you'll see. But I'm doing research. I've been doing research for over a decade, and it's not obvious to me. EVM compatible chain is live on Function X. Grow your DEX's liquidity pools. So they've got their own EVM chain. Function X. Okay, so they've launched their own EVM. This is interesting because if their EVM uses the Pundi X as gas, they've got their own funding, grant system, new derivatives, developer, join us, FAQ. Let's see. I'm not going to dig in this for long. I just want to see if you can use the Pundi X token to pay for gas on their network. And it's not immediately obvious. Okay, they've got EVM, but they've got delegators, which means it's more than likely proof of stake. One of these, like delegated proof of stake, where you've got like 100 people securing the chain. I like this model, to be honest with you. I prefer it to centralized sequences. Announcements, let's see, FX Wallet 2.0, WAGMI NFT and FX Wallet 2 years ago. Okay. All right, so they've had this thing for a while, which means it's more than likely just about, who knows, who cares? Doesn't matter. Okay. All right, so we've looked at the website now. I want to give the website an X because it doesn't really tell me anything. It's a bit vaporwary. I still don't know who they're aimed at. It doesn't look like they're particularly aimed at the Indian market, which has kind of upset me because I want it to be right for a third time in a row, but I can't say I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I can't say I'm right. Point of sale systems. See, these are payments, franchises. So showing all their compliance and risk management, others. Pundi 365, Chainlink, Ramp. Let's see. Let's see what Pundi 365 is. Okay, so this looks like the team. This is the team behind it. This is the team behind it, right? So this looks like the team that made Pundi X. Can we see who they are? Ready to find out more? Get a free valuation. So they're still working on other things. Okay, they're based in Cyprus. Well, they're registered in Cyprus. They're more than likely not based in Cyprus. So they've got Instagram. Let's have a look. Okay, maybe they are Cypriot. They don't look. They might be Cypriot. I didn't see that one coming. Our CEO, Joseph Borges. Okay. Australian Cypriot. Who knows? Okay, so it looks like there's Cypriot. No, I didn't see that coming. Nicosia. Right, okay. European projects, contact us. Right, whatever. Too much time has passed. So this is the rabbit hole. This is what you shouldn't really do. Right, so we've done that. Website, I'm going to say website is an X. Website has not inspired me. Where else do I check? I also check on... So let's close these now. GitHub. Okay, so Pundi X, do they have a GitHub? They don't have a GitHub. They don't have a GitHub. I don't have a GitHub, so I can't check via GitHub. From the all-time low to now, it's doubled. So it means very few people are actually up with Pandex. Most people have lost money. But they're still going. Looks like they're still going. They don't have a GitHub. Do they have it? Let me check on here. Sometimes they don't have it listed with. No, they don't have a GitHub. Okay. They don't have a GitHub. That's a pretty bad one. I'll briefly talk about GitHub anyway. I generally go to GitHub. If you don't know, if you're not a coder, open a GitHub account. I'm going to pause. Let me pause and get a drink of water. Okay, so GitHub, let's go. With GitHub, if you're not a coder, open a GitHub account. I often argue with a friend of mine about non-coders having GitHub accounts. I'm not a coder, I've got a GitHub account. My GitHub account is busy because I project manage, of course, but mostly because I follow developers. So this guy, I remember this guy, he was in I had my own Discord for developers. He was in there and he makes pretty interesting things. With GitHub, you can find a developer and you can follow them. Now, I follow this guy because he's the type of guy, he may get onto a project early because they don't have much funds. He's a good developer, as is evidenced by the amount of contributions he makes. All of that, the more green here, the darker the green, the more substantial the contribution or number of contributions. Remember, a contribution might be that you changed the date on something. So it's not a definite, but when you see things like this shows that the guy is active. Like he's busy. Look at his face. That means absolutely nothing, but there's his face. And for me, he's doing a lot of code review commits. He's not answering issues. I would like if he was answering more issues, but it doesn't matter. This is one I follow, so follow him too. And then you look at what he's working on, and if it is interesting, then you can jump into it. Okay, so we don't know what that one is. Let's look at what he done on March the 6th. Thousand Crypto Expert. Fairbricks. So he's working on Fairbricks at the moment. Or maybe a Fairbricks fork. Fairbricks is a direct predecessor to Litecoin. Fairbricks follows. Oh, interesting. So he's working on a real super retro crypto. I have no idea why, but that's what he's doing. Okay. And that's how I use GitHub. Also, if we go into PivX again. I want to use PivX as a thing. PivX Labs, they're like the developers for PivX. You can look at these sorts of things. You look through these are called repositories. So each one is either a important section of a crypto or a crypto itself. So here's the wallet, send, stake. There's a small description, but then you look for this, which looks like a heartbeat, and the more boop, 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 boop there is, the more busy they are on it. If you see this is a good sign. I picked this project as a good project. This is a good sign because it means that they're working on this consistently. If it's a project that you then start to like if it was the Pundi X that we were looking at that we then started to like, you go down, you find the developers like JS Kitty, and you add them to your follow list. But that way, if they ever leave PivX Labs and go somewhere else, you can go with them. If they're a good developer, it makes sense that they go with them. For example, there was a guy who was previously at PivX called Furzy. Now, Furzy absolutely hates me. I could care less. Here he is. The fact is, he's a good developer. So whatever he's working on, I want in. Yeah, he's active. He's got a decent amount of followers. So there's quite a few other developers who follow him, who think he's good. And there might be one or two people like me cheating, don't develop, and follow him anyway. Here's Furzy's face. Means nothing. Do with that information as whatever you like. And he's currently working on Bitcoin. I already knew this, because if he was working on something else, I would have bought it. But he's not. He's working on Bitcoin, and I've got Bitcoin, but I don't want Bitcoin in a bull run. You want Bitcoin in a bear market. It doesn't go down as much, and in a bull run doesn't go up as much. So if Furzy went to Pundi X or any other crap coin that was in the 1000s or beyond, that is an immediate buy signal. You immediately buy that coin. If you find a developer that's working on your coin that has committed to Bitcoin itself, immediate buy signal. You buy it, unless the chart is horrible or you've got VC people ready to dump on your head. And even then, you probably still buy it. So that's Furzy. Another developer who does like me, who I also like, is my friend Kayaba. So if we look for Kayaba, Kayaba is a quite brilliant developer. Here he is. We look to see what he's working on currently. Here we go. Here's another one. Loads of green. This is not his face. This is a turkey with crab legs and octopus tentacles. Interesting. He's working on Sarai. I know that he's working on Sarai, and if I had the chance, if I could buy Sarai, I would buy it by the bucket load because of the developer who's working on it. Okay? Over time, if you do this process over and over again, over time, you're going to have a little stable of developers of your own that you like and you respect. Ways to develop respect for developers is when they're building things that haven't been done before, and when you see them pick up new skills. So, for example, you may see that Kayaba's got quite a lot of followers as well. You may see that Kayaba is coding in Rust here and in Nim here. These are the languages. So you may not know. I can't code in Rust. I barely know what Nim is. But I know he's gone from one to the other, which means he can code in multiple languages, which means he's picked up a new skill, unless Nim is very much like Rust. But now we're getting into real nuances. On the upside, this is just pinned. You can see that there's language differences. If I see a new language jump in here, great. Like, this developer is getting better. In my mind, I will start to rate him a little bit higher. Okay, do your own research, but you do it over and over again. You start to develop the tools and you start to have your own mental model of what good. Okay, that's enough of GitHub. Next, Twitter. Twitter is a cesspool of angry North Americans who are belligerent and furious that their dreams haven't come true and they don't have Lambos. Twitter is a horrible place to be. However, Twitter is filled, packed. Oh, look, here's this. Do your own research. Twitter is packed with useful information. Not from what people say, but other ways. So, for example, let's go to Pundi X. Pundi X Labs, we are hiring. Or go to Pundi X Labs because they should link to Pundi X's. No, they don't. Why not? Looks like Pundi X doesn't seem to have its own. It doesn't seem to have its own Twitter. If I type Pundi X Network. If you can't find the Twitter, you can come back here and there should be a link to it. Okay, so it seems like Pundi X Labs is the Pundi X Twitter. Let's close GitHub. Secure Web3 payments. So yeah, it's a payments processor. We know that because we went to the website. They joined in December 2017. We know that because we saw the chart and the trading volume, and the downward trajectory of the chart, and that it was on Binance. So we kind of figured all that out. I was doing our own research. Right, so first things you look at, how big's their following? Obviously, this is everyday Twitter stuff. How big is their following? How many people are they following? Where are they based? Singapore. So they've said they're based in Singapore, but we think they're based in Cyprus. So, I don't know. Big companies will be based in different places. And I've got a feeling this is a decent sized company, even though the token price is currently, the market cap is currently quite low. I think this is a decent size. I think this is not that much fluff. Not that much speculation on this one. They're having an AMA on April the 11th at GMT plus 8. Might be on GMT plus 8. Pico CEO or Chief Ecosystem Officer at Pundi X Labs, 6,000 followers. Judy Liu, Pundi X, 1,000 followers. And Louisa, Business Development Marketing, Pundi X, 100 followers. Interesting, it looks like these are all women. And Blue Stitch. Here we go. Finally, we found a man. Now we can recommend it. Let's accelerate Bitcoin. Growth lead at Pundi X Labs. Created deep in community. Okay. How sexist am I? Yeah, I've looked at 4 people. Only one of them's a white male, and he's the first one I clicked. What am I looking for? I'm looking to see how long he's had his account. September 2018, only 2,000 followers. He is from Cyprus, and he's the growth lead. Pundi X South Africa. Okay, so they've got ambassadors. This is a decent project. This is very much like a PivX. It's one of those projects that may come back. This may come back from the dead. So, I also wanted to look at, I know I didn't say it out loud, but the head honcho, the main woman, the representative Opera. That is the browser Opera, yes. Oh, so she worked at Opera and she worked at Ogilvy. A believer of a small idea could change the world. She's been on Twitter since 2010. She's from Taipei, Taiwan. She's reposting Solana stuff, which makes sense because they are Solana spoke about the integration of Pundi. Solana's main account. Wow. That's a big repost. You like to see that. Yes. Yeah, stay safe. Stay safe, Taiwan. Okay. They're doing AMAs, they've got growth, they've got a team, they've got a product, they're on Binance. I think they're backed by Binance. They're getting some support from Solana. They've got a small market cap, but they've been there before. And on Twitter, they do have ambassadors. That's a tick from me. Okay, so I'll show you where we are. 177 market cap is a tick. The supply, all of the supplies available is a tick. The trading of the token currently, I don't like. That's an X. The history is a tick. The website is an X. The GitHub is an X, quite a big X actually. And the Twitter is a tick. I would now say I've done my own research. I feel like I've done enough research to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to buy this. I've done all of my research in under an hour. On a day which I devote to research, I could research 10 projects in 4 hours. They won't all take an hour. This one's only taken an hour because it's a good one. If it's not a good one, and this was luckily a good one, some projects I'll look at the chart immediately and I'll be like, oh, I'm not buying that. This one, not many would I do that actually, to be fair. But sometimes you come to your conclusions a lot quicker. Would I buy Pundi X? Am I going to buy Pundi X? I'll tell you what's stopping me. That it's only available on Ethereum. I don't like that. That's stopping me. That I can't immediately see from their website if they have a DAO with a treasury. I don't know if they do or not. That's stopping me. But I can vote on stuff. That's helping me. I can't see their GitHub. That's stopping me. Their Twitter is good. They're getting reposts, or they're getting reposts from Solana's main account. That is a massive good. That's a massive yes. They've got their own YouTube channel, which I haven't seen. I'll do one last thing before we wrap up on the beautiful 1 hour mark. I will do one last thing. They got 8,000 subscribers. They've got more subscribers than me, which is not a surprise, to be fair. And they've got 200 videos, so they're actually doing quite a lot of stuff. Purse cashback. Put the X card for sure.
Hi. How are you? Welcome. I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Good, thanks. I'd like to get $90 worth of lira. Yes. Using USDT. Oh. And my PX card. Oh, PX. On Tron. Yes. Oh, wow. 90, right? 90. And you're gonna make it with your PX card. Correct. Oh. Okay, and the magic is gonna happen. Okay. I like that. Please. Okay. And you need Turkish lira, yeah? Yes, of course. Here you are. Okay. It's a lot of money. Perfect. Great. And a receipt to boot. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Have a nice day. You too.
I did. I sat and watched the video, half of the video. First of all, can we talk about this guy's shirt? Because that's an absolute belter. And this is 1 month ago, and this is bricks and mortar store. I don't think they've done all of this just because this is frosted glass windows, and they could, I guess it could be the frosted glass window makes me think that this shop actually exists. I'm not going to do it now because we've reached our time limit. But this YouTube makes me feel like Pundi X is going places. They have their own videos. They get around the same views as me. They don't get many views. So they got tutorials. How to manually upgrade the device. Okay. This is an actual deep in play. It's an actual deep in play with good tokenomics. This jumps on one of the biggest narratives, the upcoming cycle. They've been around before. They are on the ground in places that actually need this thing. In case you don't know, Cyprus is one of those countries, which I'm not sure if it's even in the EU, but it's one of those countries that's oppressed, let's say, financially. So they will need crypto, and then you've got what strikes me as an Indian guy in Cyprus. If they get stuff like this and take it to the Caribbean or they take it to Africa, and they do have, because I saw here, they do have ambassadors. Yeah. Okay. YouTube pushed me over the edge. Pundi X is a buy. It's a buy for me. It's a buy for me. I think in this next bull run, anybody who does their own research on this particular project will also buy. It's hard not to. The last thing that I like to do is see who their rivals are. So what I would do is, for example, I might say crypto. You have to put point of sale, because if I put POS, that means proof of stake in crypto. So I put crypto point of sale project. I want to see if there are any others. See if Pundi shows up. See, there's Dapos is the first one that shows up. I want to see if there's any that are higher up on the coin market cap and see how good they are. I won't be able to do that here, but that will be the next thing I would do. What was the first one that I saw? Dapos. I don't think Dapos doesn't sound like a project. It might have a token. So, because what I want to do is I want to find out how crypto DAP-OS. No, that's not it. Is it? No, see, this is Dapos. This is not DAP-OS. For upsell. So this is another point of sale. Doesn't have a token. Get early access. I'm just going to do this very quickly. I'm going to quickly open their Twitter, their website, and their GitHub. I'm going to do this in a matter of seconds because I know I've run over. Okay, so this has been around for a long time. over 5 years, looks like. And hasn't been arranged into releases. I'll stay on the master. There are other branches, 12 open, 12 closed. Oh gosh. "2019 cleared car after payment success." That's still an issue. That says one of two things. This is not a good project, or they're not doing very good at managing their GitHub. I'm bad at managing my GitHub, so I will do stuff like this. So, okay, so I look at that. I don't know what this is. Oh, this domain is not registered, so the website's gone now. And only 194 followers, July 2018. Okay, so this strikes me as a project that just didn't get off the ground. They haven't posted since 2018. Okay, so it's a project that it died in the crib. This one died in the crib. Okay, so that's why this thing hasn't been closed, because they stopped working on it, or they migrated to another name. Yeah, because look, none of these have been updated in the last 5 or 6 years. So unfortunately, this one didn't make it out of its early life. Branches, stale branches. Yeah, 6 years. Unfortunately. This guy doesn't do much. I thought there was one more guy, wasn't there? This guy looks like he's busy. Here we go. Just a red-haired kid from the block hanging out in the streets of Tokyo. Luca Ban. I want to show you that. I didn't want to show you that. We're running over time. Luca Ban, was it? MESQUEEB. Let's see if he's on YouTube talking about anything. He's got his own channel. He's got 1,000 subscribers. It's Japanese. Videos. Oh, he's a red-haired white kid. Oh, Japan does not look like he's doing crypto anymore. Okay, so unfortunately this one died. Interestingly enough, we know how big these things can get, which is food for thought, but this is not one of them. And these guys, that one failed and they moved on. So that's what I would do. Further research would be, I would do that. I would also go and join the Pundi Discord if they have one. They don't have a Discord. That's a bad sign. They do have a Telegram. I don't use Telegram. I do use it, but I don't class it as a community product. The fact that they don't have a Discord is a bad sign, but the fact that I've made up my mind to buy this token, and I know I can build a Discord for them, and I could have somebody manage the Discord for them, and it would cost me $100 a month. So I know I can immediately add value. This is another thing. Oh, I'm going so far over, but this is do your own research. Can you add value to the product? Chances are no, usually, if you've just started, depending on your background. But what you do is you bring your background, whatever you've been doing the last 10 years, can you add that to this project? The last 10 years I've been doing crypto. Can I add that to this project? Yes. So I can definitely bring value to this project. They already have a YouTube channel, which I really like. If we go back to it, they already have a YouTube channel, which I really like. And they already have their own videos, which they're making, which I really like. They're already doing AMAs. This part is really good. She's sat on panels, Taipei Blockchain Week. There she is again. No, sorry. Pardon me. I don't think that's the same. Is that the same lady? Yeah, it is. Feels the same, lady. I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't really tell properly. But okay, so anyway, so what value can I add? There's immediately value I can add. Immediately, they need a Discord. The reason why they need a Discord is they need a place where all of these people that they have, who are the ambassadors can go from have their own channel, and people can come and chat, and it doesn't get swallowed up by Telegram good mornings and highs and whatever. So if we type Pundi X, thought I saw Pundi X South Africa, yes? Pundi X South Africa, Pundi X Japan, Pundi X South Africa, they are active. They are active, changing the game. There we go. Brilliant. Now what you need is a Pundi X Kenya, you need a Pundi X Guyana, you need a Pundi X Argentina. No, I think Argentina might have outlawed crypto now. But Pundi X Venezuela, Pundi X, all these places where this can land. This is a powerful deep in play, I think. It's a good one. So there you go. There it is in 70 minutes, how to do your own research. You may never need to watch another video on how to do your own research again. You could just go back to this one. I will put timestamps in here below so that you can see how to use the different things and go back to them when you want to just focus in on that particular aspect of the research. I picked a project at random, but you maybe shield the project. The steps remain the same, right? They remain the same. You look at the market cap. That's the most important thing. Where is it now? Where do you think it can go to? With this particular one, it's a difficult one because there are not a lot of other projects like this. If this was a privacy coin, then you've got Monero as your standard bearer. If this was a L1, then you've got, I guess, a Casper as your standard bearer. If this was a meme coin, then you've got Shiba Inu as your standard bearer. Then other things come into play. What network is it on? Things like that. So this is not a definitive list, doesn't cover everything, but just a video I felt needed to be made just to show the process of how I do my own research. So when someone tells you to do your own research, here's how you do it. This is basically how you do it. The one thing I did leave out was if you do go to Discord of a particular project, you would go immediately to the announcements page to see what's happening, see how active they are, things like that. Twitter can do that. Announcements pages on Discord are better for that. You can also get an idea for how savvy the community are, what they're talking about. They're talking about number go up, blah, blah, blah. If there's a lot of newbies in there, that's generally a good sign because it means that they are reaching outside of the entrenched crypto people. It does mean that the community may be louder but weaker. Is it based on a DAO? Pundi X has a DAO, but I can't see where the treasury is. They don't have a very good DAO dashboard. I could build a better one. That would be where I could also add value. I can add quite a lot of value to it. You may not be able to add as much value, but who knows what your skill set is? Maybe you're great at making memes, and they don't seem to have memes. They take themselves a bit more seriously than memes, but memes are fun. People like